In the land of pyramids and timeless sand dunes, where the Nile flows like a life-giving artery, the pharaohs once held sway with absolute authority. From the Old Kingdom's founding around 2700 BC to the reign of Cleopatra VII Thea Philopator, the last pharaoh in the dawn of the 1st century BC, these divine sovereigns ruled with an iron fist cloaked in gold. But behind the grandeur of the pyramids and the allure of golden sarcophagi lay a darker reality. Pharaohs were not just rulers, they were considered living gods, the embodiment of Horus, and this divine status often led to a disturbing abuse of power. Many practiced inbreeding, marrying their siblings to keep the bloodline pure and the power within the family. Rituals of death were equally as haunting, with human sacrifices offered to appease the gods, ensure the pharaoh's safe journey into the afterlife, or even to serve him in death. And then there were the harems, not just a collection of wives, concubines, and female attendants for the pharaoh's pleasure, but a powerful institution in itself, sometimes even a political battleground, where women could exert influence and vie for power. One of the most infamous pharaohs, Akhenaten, upended the entire Egyptian religious system, inciting chaos and confusion. Yet, in all their actions, they were guided by a belief best summed up by the Greek philosopher Heraclitus: character is destiny. Their decisions, however shocking they might seem to us today, were consistent with their divine character and the destiny they believed it promised. Join us as we delve into the shadowy corners of ancient Egypt, unearthing the chilling rituals, power abuses, and inbreeding that were woven into the tapestry of the pharaoh's rule. Welcome to the Diary of Julius Caesar. Secrets of the Afterlife, decoding the opulence of ancient Egyptian royal tombs. Throughout the sands of time, ancient Egypt's grandiose tombs and burial rituals have captured the imagination of historians, archaeologists, and enthusiasts alike. The pharaohs of ancient Egypt believed that their afterlife journey required the same luxuries and grandeur as their earthly existence. Consequently, they constructed magnificent tombs filled with treasures and precious artifacts to accompany them in the eternal realm. The Great Pyramid of Giza, built for Pharaoh Khufu, 2589 to 2566 BCE, is one of the most iconic and enduring symbols of ancient Egyptian civilization. As the oldest and largest of the 3 pyramids on the Giza Plateau, it stands as a testament to the engineering prowess and wealth of the Old Kingdom. Khufu's pyramid was originally covered with polished white limestone, which must have shimmered like a gemstone under the Egyptian sun. Inside the pyramid, the pharaoh's chamber was protected by a series of passageways and granite blocks, designed to deter tomb raiders and safeguard the pharaoh's journey to the afterlife. While the Great Pyramid of Giza remains an architectural marvel, the tomb of Tutankhamun, a relatively minor pharaoh who ruled from 1332 to 1323 BCE, is renowned for its dazzling riches. Discovered in 1922 by British archaeologist Howard Carter, King Tut's tomb was found remarkably intact, with over 5,000 artifacts. Among the priceless treasures was Tutankhamun's death mask, crafted from solid gold and adorned with precious stones, which has become an emblem of ancient Egypt's splendor. The ancient Egyptians believed that preserving the body was essential for the soul's journey to the afterlife. Thus, they developed a complex process of mummification to ensure the deceased's eternal existence. The mummification process involved the removal of internal organs, treating the body with preservative chemicals, and wrapping it in layers of linen. This process could take up to 70 days, during which time priests would perform rituals to ensure the deceased's safe passage. Pharaohs' tombs were often adorned with detailed frescoes and inscriptions, known as the pyramid texts or coffin texts. These texts contained spells, prayers, and instructions to assist the pharaoh in navigating the afterlife, warding off malevolent spirits and achieving immortality. The texts also reveal insights into the ancient Egyptians' beliefs about life, death, and the cosmos. The burial rituals of ancient Egyptian pharaohs were not complete without a retinue of objects, known as grave goods, to support and accompany them in the afterlife. These objects included food, furniture, clothing, chariots, weapons, and statues of servants called ushabti, which were believed to come to life and serve the pharaoh in the afterlife. In some cases, the pharaoh's favorite pets were also mummified and buried alongside their master. Perhaps one of the most poignant stories from ancient Egyptian history involves the love between Queen Nefertari, the first and most beloved wife of Pharaoh Ramesses II, 1279 to 1213 BCE, and her royal husband. Ramesses II built an exquisite tomb for Nefertari in the Valley of the Queens, filled with breathtaking frescoes and inscriptions. The tomb's lavish decoration reflects the depth of Ramesses's devotion to his queen and his desire to ensure her eternal happiness. Whispers of the Nile, the dark side of ancient Egyptian royalty. The ancient Egyptian pharaohs, with their glittering tombs and extravagant lifestyles, have long captured the imagination of the world. However, beneath the facade of grandeur and divine right, the royal families of Egypt were rife with scandal, intrigue, and power struggles that defined their tumultuous reigns. One of the most infamous examples of ancient Egyptian intrigue is the Harem conspiracy against Ramesses III, 1186 to 1155 BCE, the last great pharaoh of the New Kingdom. Ramesses III faced numerous challenges during his reign, including economic decline and foreign invasions. However, it was a plot from within his own family that would ultimately prove fatal. In a desperate bid for power, one of Ramesses's secondary wives, Queen Tai, conspired with members of the royal court and harem to assassinate the pharaoh and place her son Pentuer on the throne. The plot was discovered, and the conspirators were arrested and subjected to a trial, with many receiving the ultimate punishment of death. The tragic end of Ramesses III, his throat slit by assassins, marks a dark chapter in the history of ancient Egypt. In the shadow of the pyramids, the ancient Egyptian pharaohs were no strangers to scandalous relationships. The Ptolemaic dynasty, which ruled Egypt from 305–30 BCE, was notorious for its practice of incestuous marriages among its members. The dynasty's founders, Ptolemy I and his wife Berenice, were themselves cousins. This tradition continued with their descendants, who married siblings or close relatives to maintain the purity of their bloodline and consolidate power within the family. Cleopatra VII, the last queen of the Ptolemaic dynasty, was herself the product of generations of incestuous unions. The enigmatic and controversial figure of Akhenaten, 1353 to 1336 BCE, also provides a window into the intrigues that plagued the ancient Egyptian royal families. Akhenaten, originally known as Amenhotep IV, is remembered for his radical religious reforms that replaced the worship of the traditional Egyptian pantheon with the exclusive worship of the sun disk, Aten. This transformation shook the foundations of ancient Egyptian society and led to the persecution of the traditional priesthood. Moreover, Akhenaten's personal life was fraught with scandal, as he was rumored to have married his own sister, Sitamun, before marrying his famed queen, Nefertiti. The enigma of Akhenaten's reign and his ultimate downfall serve as a cautionary tale of the dangers of unchecked ambition and the fickleness of power. Pharaoh Pepi II, 2278 to 2184 BCE, also had his fair share of intrigue and scandal. Ascending the throne at the tender age of 6, Pepi II enjoyed the longest reign in ancient Egyptian history, ruling for over 90 years. However, his lengthy reign was marred by tales of decadence, excess, and moral decline. Stories of Pepi II's obsession with his chief queen Neith and his fondness for young male courtiers circulated throughout the kingdom. Furthermore, the pharaoh's apathy and neglect towards the affairs of the state contributed to the eventual collapse of the Old Kingdom. The story of Hatshepsut, 1478 to 1458 BCE, Egypt's most famous female pharaoh, provides a fascinating insight into the power struggles and machinations of ancient Egypt's royal families. Hatshepsut, the daughter of Thutmose, was initially married to her half-brother, Thutmose II. Upon his death, she maneuvered her way to the throne, ruling as pharaoh in place of her young stepson, Thutmose III. Hatshepsut's reign was marked by prosperity and ambitious building projects such as the construction of her mortuary temple at Deir el-Bahri. However, her rise to power was not without controversy. To legitimize her rule, she adopted the title of king, and even dressed in the traditional male regalia of the pharaoh, complete with a false beard. The true nature of her relationship with her chief advisor and possible lover, Senenmut, has also been the subject of much speculation and debate. After Hatshepsut's death, Thutmose III, her stepson and co-regent, eventually assumed full power and embarked on a campaign to erase her legacy. He defaced her monuments and removed her name from inscriptions, attempting to write her out of history. However, Hatshepsut's story has survived the sands of time, and she remains a symbol of female empowerment in a male-dominated world. Divine adornments, the eccentric beauty rituals of ancient Egyptian royalty. The ancient Egyptian pharaohs, revered as living gods, sought to maintain an image of divine perfection in every aspect of their lives. This pursuit extended to their appearance, leading to the development of unconventional beauty practices that have intrigued historians and archaeologists alike. These peculiar beauty rituals were not only a means of enhancing their physical appeal, but also played a crucial role in asserting their status and power. One of the most distinctive elements of ancient Egyptian beauty was the use of makeup. Both men and women, including royalty, adorned their eyes with kohl, a dark powder made from crushed minerals like galena or malachite. This practice not only accentuated the shape and size of their eyes, but it also served a practical purpose by protecting them from the harsh desert sun and repelling insects. The application of makeup was considered so important that cosmetic palettes and tools have been discovered in the tombs of pharaohs, ensuring they remained well-groomed in the afterlife. Hair, too, held great significance in ancient Egyptian culture, and wigs were a popular accessory among the royal elite. These wigs, often made from human hair, were intricately styled and sometimes adorned with gold beads, jewels, or even scented with fragrant oils. Pharaohs and queens, such as the beautiful Nefertiti, were known to wear wigs as a symbol of their status and wealth. The wearing of wigs also had a practical purpose. It allowed the wearer to shave their head, which provided relief from the heat and reduced the risk of lice. The ancient Egyptians were also masters of scent, creating perfumes from a wide array of natural ingredients such as myrrh, frankincense, and lotus flowers. They believed that pleasant smells were pleasing to the gods and could bring about divine favor. Pharaohs and their consorts would often be anointed with perfumed oils during religious ceremonies and rituals. In fact, Cleopatra, the last queen of Egypt, was said to have used her knowledge of scents to charm and captivate the hearts of powerful men like Julius Caesar and Mark Antony. One of the most unusual beauty practices of ancient Egyptian royalty was the use of scented cones made from animal fat. These cones, infused with fragrant oils and herbs, were placed on top of the wigs worn by the royals during festive occasions. As the evening progressed and the temperature rose, the cones would gradually melt, releasing their intoxicating scents and adding an air of mystique to the proceedings. The ancient Egyptians also took great care of their skin, using a variety of concoctions to cleanse, moisturize, and protect it from the harsh desert climate. For example, they used exfoliants made from ground alabaster, honey, and natron, a naturally occurring salt, to maintain a smooth and radiant complexion. Their skincare regimens also included the use of natural oils, such as almond or sesame oil, as moisturizers and protectants against the sun's harsh rays. The elaborate beauty rituals of ancient Egyptian royalty not only served to enhance their physical appearance, but also reinforced their divine status and power. These unconventional practices were a testament to their ingenuity and mastery of the natural resources at their disposal. Today, the allure of ancient Egypt continues to captivate the world with its eccentric beauty, rituals offering a fascinating glimpse into the lives of its divine rulers. Forbidden sanctuaries, unveiling the enigma of ancient Egyptian royal harems. Behind the imposing walls of ancient Egyptian palaces, there existed a hidden world of intrigue, passion, and power plays, the royal harems. Within these guarded sanctuaries, pharaohs surrounded themselves with their wives, concubines, and eunuchs, creating an environment where pleasure and politics were inextricably linked. As we delve into the enigmatic world of ancient Egyptian royal harems, we uncover the stories and secrets that lay hidden within these forbidden chambers. A royal harem was much more than a mere collection of beautiful women. It was a complex social hierarchy that played a pivotal role in the power dynamics of ancient Egyptian court life. At the top of this hierarchy was the pharaoh's great royal wife, who held immense influence over the affairs of the kingdom. She was often the mother of the heir apparent and played a crucial role in religious ceremonies and state affairs. Beneath her were the lesser wives and concubines who jockeyed for power and prestige within the harem's walls. Among the most famous of these great royal wives was Nefertiti, the wife of the enigmatic pharaoh Akhenaten. Nefertiti was not only renowned for her beauty, but also for her influence in the religious and political upheaval that occurred during her husband's reign. As a devoted follower of Aten, the sun disk deity, she shared her husband's vision for a monotheistic Egypt and played a key role in the promotion of this new religious order. Concubines, on the other hand, were typically women of lesser rank who were either gifted to the pharaoh by foreign dignitaries or captured during military campaigns. While they did not hold the same status as the pharaoh's wives, they were nonetheless an essential part of the royal harem and could wield considerable influence. The story of Queen Tai, the mother of Akhenaten and the wife of Amenhotep III, serves as a prime example of a concubine's rise to power. Tai, originally a non-royal, managed to secure her position as great royal wife and even played a crucial role in diplomatic relations between Egypt and other kingdoms. Eunuchs were another integral component of the royal harem, responsible for the protection and administration of the pharaoh's wives and concubines. These men, usually castrated at a young age to ensure their loyalty, held powerful positions within the royal court, often acting as intermediaries between the pharaoh and his harem. Some eunuchs rose to prominence and became trusted advisors to the pharaoh, such as the famed Senenmut, who served as chief steward and confidant to the female pharaoh Hatshepsut. The world of the royal harem was rife with intrigue and power plays, as its members vied for the attention and favor of the pharaoh. The harem conspiracy against Ramesses III, as previously mentioned, provides a chilling example of the dangers that lurked within these enclosed environments. The desire for power and influence could drive even the most loyal of subjects to commit treachery and murder, casting a shadow over the seemingly idyllic world of the royal harem. Feasting with the gods, the decadent diets and culinary indulgences of ancient Egyptian pharaohs. In the sun-drenched land of ancient Egypt, the pharaohs, revered as living gods, enjoyed a life of opulence and excess that was reflected in their extravagant culinary habits. These divine rulers dined on sumptuous feasts replete with exotic ingredients, aromatic spices, and bountiful food and drink. As we journey back in time to explore the lavish diets and culinary indulgences of ancient Egyptian pharaohs, we are transported to a world of gastronomic delights that tantalized the senses and affirmed the divine status of these legendary rulers. The Nile River, which sustained the fertile lands of ancient Egypt, provided an abundance of fish, waterfowl, and other aquatic delicacies for the pharaoh's tables. These freshwater offerings were often prepared in a variety of ways, such as grilling, baking, or boiling, and were seasoned with a medley of herbs and spices like coriander, cumin, and garlic. The ancient Egyptian royal chefs also utilized a range of exotic ingredients, such as honey from the far reaches of the empire, to add a touch of sweetness to their dishes. In addition to their aquatic fare, the pharaohs indulged in a variety of meats, including beef, veal, and mutton. These meats were often reserved for special occasions or religious festivals, reflecting the elite status of the consumers. During these celebrations, the ancient Egyptians would roast or grill whole cuts of meat, sometimes even entire animals, as a display of their wealth and power. The consumption of pork, however, was generally avoided, as pigs were considered unclean and associated with the chaos god Seth. Bread and beer were staples of the ancient Egyptian diet, even for the pharaohs. Royal bakers crafted a variety of breads, including leavened and unleavened, sweetened and savory, using grains like barley, emmer and einkorn wheat. Some breads were even infused with ingredients such as dates, figs, or honey, transforming them into delectable treats fit for a divine ruler. Beer, too, was an essential part of royal feasts and was brewed in a range of flavors, from sweet to bitter, using different types of grains and herbs. The ancient Egyptians also developed a taste for fruits and vegetables, which featured prominently in the pharaohs' diets. They cultivated a wide array of crops, such as onions, leeks, lentils, and beans, which were often used to prepare flavorful soups and stews. The fertile Nile Valley also provided an abundance of fruits, including grapes, figs, dates, and pomegranates. These fruits were enjoyed fresh, dried, or even transformed into sweet wines and juices, adding a touch of luxury to the pharaohs' feasts. Desserts, too, played a significant role in the culinary indulgences of ancient Egyptian royalty. Honey, a highly prized and expensive ingredient, was often used to create sweet confections and pastries. The pharaohs also enjoyed a variety of nut-based treats, such as pastries filled with ground almonds or pistachios, and delicacies made from dates and figs. These divine desserts were often reserved for special occasions or offered to the gods as a testament to the pharaoh's devotion. Elixir of the gods, the curious medical practices and healing rituals of ancient Egyptian royalty. The ancient Egyptian pharaohs, revered as living gods, were not immune to the maladies and ailments that plagued their mortal subjects. To maintain their divine status and uphold their image of perfection, they turned to a plethora of bizarre medical treatments and healing rituals that still mystify historians and medical experts to this day. One of the most peculiar medical treatments in ancient Egypt was the use of crocodile dung as a contraceptive. This unusual practice, believed to have been employed by some royal women, involved the creation of a pessary, a device inserted into the female reproductive system to block sperm from reaching the cervix. The crocodile dung, which has a slightly alkaline composition, was thought to possess spermicidal properties that prevented conception. This method was not only a testament to the ingenuity of the ancient Egyptians, but also highlighted the lengths to which they would go to control their fertility and maintain their image of divine perfection. Another curious medical practice employed by the ancient Egyptian royalty was the use of animal-derived remedies to treat various ailments. For example, it was believed that the liver of a black cat, when consumed, could cure ailments related to the eyes. Donkey's milk was thought to possess healing properties and was used as a topical treatment for various skin conditions. Even honey, a highly prized and expensive ingredient, was used for its antiseptic and healing properties to treat wounds and prevent infections. The ancient Egyptians also placed great emphasis on the power of magical spells and incantations in their medical treatments. These spells, often inscribed on papyrus scrolls or etched onto amulets, were believed to invoke the protection of the gods and provide healing for the afflicted. For example, the Ebers Papyrus, one of the most extensive medical texts from ancient Egypt, includes a collection of magical spells and incantations designed to ward off diseases and promote good health. Pharaohs and their families would often rely on these divine interventions, seeking the favor of the gods to cure their ailments and maintain their divine status. The practice of mummification, a process by which the body was preserved for the afterlife, also involved a series of rituals and treatments that showcased the ancient Egyptians' medical knowledge. The removal of internal organs, the use of natron to dry out the body, and the application of oils and resins to preserve the skin all demonstrated a keen understanding of anatomy and chemistry. This complex process was reserved for the pharaohs and other high-ranking officials, further highlighting the connection between their divine status and the medical treatments they received. The ancient Egyptian royalty's reliance on bizarre medical treatments and healing rituals was a reflection of their belief in the interconnection of the physical, spiritual, and divine realms. By employing a combination of practical remedies, animal-derived concoctions, and magical spells, the pharaohs sought to maintain their image of divine perfection and protect themselves from the afflictions that plagued their mortal subjects. Adorned in majesty, the luxurious garments and accessories of ancient Egyptian pharaohs. In the mystical land of ancient Egypt, the pharaohs were not only revered as divine rulers, but were also the ultimate trendsetters of their time. Adorned in opulent clothing and accessories that symbolized their divine status and power, these living gods set the standard for fashion and luxury in a civilization that valued beauty, craftsmanship, and artistic expression. Ancient Egyptian pharaohs were known for their elaborate headdresses, which not only served as symbols of their divine authority, but also showcased the artistic skill and ingenuity of their craftsmen. One of the most iconic headdresses is the Nemes, a striped headcloth made of fine linen that was worn by numerous pharaohs, including the legendary Tutankhamun. The Nemes, with its cascading folds and vibrant colors, not only protected the pharaoh's head from the scorching sun, but also signified his divine status as a ruler chosen by the gods. The uraeus, a cobra-shaped ornament often affixed to the front of the Nemes, represented the goddess Vodjet and served as a symbol of the pharaoh's power and divine protection. Jewelry played a significant role in the fashion of ancient Egyptian royalty, with intricate designs and precious materials that reflected their wealth and status. Gold, a material associated with the sun god Ra, was the metal of choice for royal jewelry, as it symbolized the eternal and divine nature of the pharaoh. Lapis lazuli, turquoise, and carnelian were some of the favored gemstones used in the creation of necklaces, bracelets, and rings, adding vibrant splashes of color and further elevating the pharaoh's divine image. Scarab beetles, symbols of rebirth and regeneration, were frequently incorporated into jewelry designs, serving as a constant reminder of the pharaoh's eternal nature. In addition to their headdresses and jewelry, ancient Egyptian pharaohs were known for their sumptuous robes and garments. Made from the finest linen, these flowing and lightweight garments provided comfort in the sweltering heat of the Egyptian climate, while showcasing the wearer's elite status. The materials used for the pharaoh's clothing were often painstakingly dyed and adorned with intricate patterns or embroidery, sometimes even woven with threads of gold or silver to create a shimmering, otherworldly effect. These robes were not only a testament to the wealth and power of the pharaohs, but also to the skill and artistry of their tailors and weavers. The opulence of ancient Egyptian pharaohs' clothing and accessories extended beyond their everyday attire, with ceremonial garments and regalia reserved for special occasions and religious festivals. These garments were often adorned with intricate beadwork, feathers, and semi-precious stones, creating a dazzling display of wealth and power that left no doubt as to the pharaoh's divine status. The elaborate costumes worn during religious ceremonies further reinforced the connection between the pharaoh and the gods, with each element carefully chosen to symbolize specific deities or aspects of the divine. Journey to Eternity, the sacred rites and ceremonies of the ancient Egyptian pharaoh's afterlife. The ancient Egyptian pharaohs, revered as living gods, believed that their divine essence would continue to exist even after their earthly demise. To ensure a seamless transition to the afterlife and the eternal preservation of their divine status, these rulers adhered to a complex system of rituals, ceremonies, and beliefs that guided their souls on a perilous journey through the realm of the dead. The journey to the afterlife began with the pharaoh's death, an event that marked the commencement of an elaborate and highly choreographed series of rituals. Among the most important of these rites was the opening of the mouth ceremony, which was designed to reanimate the deceased's senses and restore their ability to speak, eat, and breathe. This ritual, performed by priests and often depicted in tomb paintings, involved the use of specialized tools and incantations that were believed to imbue the deceased with the breath of life, enabling them to participate in the afterlife as a fully sentient being. The mummification process, an essential component of the ancient Egyptian pharaoh's journey to the afterlife, was a meticulous and time-consuming procedure that combined elements of science, art, and religion. Over a period of 70 days, the body was cleansed, the internal organs were removed and preserved, and the corpse was dehydrated using natron, a naturally occurring salt. The body was then wrapped in layers of linen bandages, which were often inscribed with protective spells and amulets, before being placed in a series of ornate sarcophagi. This complex process not only served to preserve the pharaoh's physical form, but also ensured their continued existence in the afterlife. The ancient Egyptians believed that the afterlife was a perilous realm, fraught with obstacles and challenges that the deceased had to overcome to achieve eternal life. The pharaoh's soul, often represented as a bird with a human head known as the Ba, was required to navigate through the underworld, known as Duat, and face a series of tests and trials. One of the most crucial of these tests was the weighing of the heart ceremony, in which the deceased's heart was weighed against the feather of Maat, the goddess of truth and justice. If the heart was found to be lighter than the feather, the soul would be granted passage to the afterlife. If not, it would be devoured by the monstrous Amit, a creature with the head of a crocodile, the torso of a lion, and the hindquarters of a hippopotamus. To aid the pharaoh in their journey through the afterlife, their tomb was filled with a wealth of objects, texts, and provisions that were believed to provide protection, sustenance, and guidance. Among these items were the Book of the Dead, a collection of spells and incantations that offered instructions on how to navigate the afterlife, and the canopic jars, which contained the preserved internal organs of the deceased. The tomb's walls were adorned with intricate paintings and reliefs that depicted scenes from the pharaoh's life, as well as their journey through the underworld, further reinforcing the connection between the realm of the living and the realm of the dead. Dark shadows of the Nile, corruption and power abuse among ancient Egypt's ruling elite. Behind the grandeur and magnificence of ancient Egypt's monumental structures and divine rulers lay a darker world, one marked by corruption, greed, and the abuse of power. The construction of the monumental tombs and temples that still captivate us today required vast amounts of resources and skilled labor. Tomb builders, architects, and artisans were often housed in dedicated villages, such as Deir el-Medina, where they were provided with food, shelter, and a steady income in exchange for their services to the pharaoh. However, despite their invaluable contributions, these workers were not immune to the temptations of corruption and greed. Cases of embezzlement, theft, and illicit trade were not uncommon, as some unscrupulous individuals sought to profit from the diversion of valuable materials and supplies destined for the pharaoh's grand projects. One of the most notorious examples of such corruption occurred during the reign of Ramesses III, when a scandal known as the Harem conspiracy unfolded. A group of high-ranking officials, including the chief of police, several tomb builders, and even some of the pharaoh's own wives and family members, were implicated in a plot to assassinate the ruler and seize power. The conspirators sought to exploit their positions and connections to undermine the stability of the kingdom, but their plot was eventually discovered and they were brought to justice. This tale of intrigue and betrayal serves as a stark reminder of the potential for corruption and abuse of power, even within the highest echelons of ancient Egyptian society. The manipulation of religious institutions for personal gain was another prevalent form of corruption among ancient Egypt's ruling elite. Priests and other religious officials, who held significant sway over the spiritual lives of the people, were known to exploit their positions to amass personal wealth and influence. They would sometimes demand extravagant offerings and donations from the faithful, diverting these resources to their own coffers instead of using them for the maintenance of temples and religious ceremonies. This unscrupulous behavior not only betrayed the trust of the people, but also undermined the very foundations of the ancient Egyptian religious system, which was built upon the belief in the divine nature of the pharaoh and the gods. The corruption and abuse of power that plagued ancient Egypt's ruling elite did not go unnoticed or unchallenged. Throughout history, there were instances of reform and attempts to restore order and integrity to the kingdom. For example, during the reign of the female pharaoh Hatshepsut, a series of administrative reforms were implemented to combat corruption and streamline the bureaucracy, while the powerful priesthood of Amun, which had grown increasingly wealthy and influential, was reined in during the reign of Akhenaten, who sought to replace their power with the worship of the sun disk, Aten. Whispers of the Gods, unveiling the secret cults and mysteries of ancient Egyptian royalty. Behind the well-documented religious practices of ancient Egyptian pharaohs, a more enigmatic world of secret cults and religious mysteries lay hidden. These clandestine groups, often associated with the worship of specific gods and goddesses, played a significant role in the spiritual lives of the ruling elite, shaping their beliefs, rituals, and even their magical practices. One of the most prominent secret cults in ancient Egyptian society was the cult of Amun, a powerful god who, over time, became associated with the sun god Ra and the ruler of the gods, the Theban triad. While the cult of Amun was publicly acknowledged and celebrated, it also had a hidden, esoteric side that was reserved exclusively for the initiated. Within the sacred confines of their temples, the priests of Amun would perform secret rituals and ceremonies, invoking the god's power to protect and guide the pharaoh in both life and death. This hidden aspect of the cult of Amun, shrouded in mystery and intrigue, was believed to possess extraordinary powers that could shape the destiny of the kingdom and its rulers. The worship of the goddess Isis, another prominent figure in ancient Egyptian religion, also had its own secret cults and mysteries. Known as the Isis Mysteries, these rites were reserved for a select group of initiates who sought to gain the goddess's favor and protection. The rituals involved in the Isis Mysteries were believed to grant the participants access to divine knowledge and wisdom, as well as the ability to communicate directly with the goddess herself. The pharaohs, as the living embodiments of the gods on earth, were particularly drawn to the secret worship of Isis, seeking her guidance and intercession in their efforts to maintain harmony and order in their realm. Magical practices were also an integral part of the secret religious lives of ancient Egyptian royalty. The use of amulets, talismans, and spells was widespread among the ruling elite, who believed that these magical items and incantations could protect them from harm, ensure their success in battle, and even influence the forces of nature. Magic, in the ancient Egyptian worldview, was not separate from religion. Instead, it was seen as a natural extension of the divine forces that governed the universe. The secret cults and religious mysteries of ancient Egypt were, in many ways, the keepers of this magical knowledge, providing the pharaohs and their inner circles with access to the hidden powers of the gods. One of the most enigmatic figures associated with the secret cults and religious mysteries of ancient Egypt is the god Thoth, the divine scribe and patron of wisdom and magic. Thoth was said to possess knowledge of all the secrets of the universe, and his teachings formed the basis of the Hermetic tradition, a body of esoteric knowledge that was passed down through the ages, and would later influence the development of Western occultism. The pharaohs, as the chief representatives of the gods on earth, were believed to have a direct line of communication with Thoth, allowing them to tap into his vast storehouse of wisdom and magical power. As we draw the curtains on this riveting journey into the filthy secrets of ancient Egyptian pharaohs, we've unveiled the untold stories of intrigue, corruption, and the hidden spiritual practices that shrouded the lives of these enigmatic rulers. From the shadowy world of secret cults to the luxurious feasts they enjoyed, the ancient Egyptian pharaohs continue to fascinate and bewilder us with their complex and often contradictory lives. To conclude, let us remember the words of Herodotus, the ancient Greek historian who once said, "Egypt is the gift of the Nile." Indeed, the Nile's life-giving waters nourished not only the land, but also the enduring tales of the pharaohs who ruled its banks, leaving behind a legacy that still captures our imagination today. So, as we bid farewell to the captivating world of ancient Egyptian royalty, may the secrets we've uncovered inspire us to continue exploring the vast, mysterious depths of human history.